Hello and welcome to the Suicidal Guide to Survival. Today we are playing Terraria and we have me, Caberea, here. So, this is my very first video. Squee! So, basic things on Terraria. It's sort of like Minecraft, except 2D, and a lot more combat based. That's pretty much all. Not much difference, except when I say much more combat based, I really mean more combat based. Unlike Minecraft, which is definitely focused on the creative sort of thing and sort of atmospheric stuff as well, like going into really dark places without pretty much any lighting can be rather creepy, even with just all the pixeliness of the graphics that they've got. So you'll notice the graphics are quite similar with Terraria, rather pixely, though it's not quite as noticeable because well, it's not 3D, you can't walk right up to something, so you can see the pixel style, the sort of typical RPG pixel style graphics. So I quite like it. It gives an old-fashioned feel to it. So as you can see here, combat is pretty easy at this point. The start of any game, combat is easy. Except for those games which are like, at the start of it, throw you straight into the final boss fight or something, and then you're supposed to lose horribly. So here I am flattening out the ground because, as I said, Terraria is a combat-based game, and in a combat-based game, the first thing you do is build a house. So the thing with Terraria is there is definitely building a creative element to it. They're just not the major aspect of it. Though the reason why I'm building this is because it just so happens you need a house for people to stay in. If you don't have a house, you're screwed. It's also nice to have this workbench here because it means I can get an actual sword that's not shit. Because at the start you're given a copper short sword which not only has less damage but also just stabs. The wooden sword is actually better than it in both damage and the way it fires, or whatever you like to call it. So I don't really get why they don't just give you the wooden sword straight from the start. It's a hell of a lot better. So make myself some basic equipment, a hammer, because hammer lets you knock out background wall tiles. You'll see here there's dirt. Now you need to fill in a house's sort of back wall in order for it to be classified as a house. Now there are two layers. There's the front layer, which has stuff that you can actually fight, and then there's the back layer, which is mainly just to tell you what part you are without having to look at the so basically, in case you destroy every single object in an area, like every single object in the foreground, like say I took out all of the dirt here in the foreground, you'd still be able to tell that I was underground somewhere because you'd have this background thing. The background will also keep out light from the surface, so that's another difference which it makes. So here onto the building part of it, I'm not going to have enough wood for this, but basically you want to, if you're not interested in the creative part of it, which I'm not really that interested in with this video, pretty much what you want to do is build houses with multiple rooms that are each big enough just to hold the guys you want. Each room will need to have a chair, 2 chairs and a table, I believe. So we'll need to make them large enough for that. Finding trees at the start is rather annoying. It's there's some really massive trees out there, but the problem is that they're never near your spawn point. They used to be, I believe, but not anymore. Now you have to actually venture out to find the gigantic trees. Yeah, I don't record with headphones, so you'll be able to hear me clicking away at everything whenever I go to, well, click something. And since you click to attack in this game, you'll be hearing that a lot, especially at night when zombies come out. Because when you've just got a wooden sword, that's pretty much your best method of battle. Just stand in one place and click to live. The pickaxe is a pretty effective weapon as well, actually, at the start. The pickaxe is actually more effective than the copper short sword. So, because I think it deals roughly the same amount. Yeah, it deals 1 less damage, has got slightly less speed. Well, actually, I think it says it's got less speed, but I reckon it's got more. It lets you take out blocks, and also has a better, and also has an arc attack, which makes it much better than the copper short sword. So, yeah, I'm not really sure why on earth they set you up with the copper short sword. It's basically the most useless thing in the whole game. In fact, short swords are pretty useless in general. They can stab, which is rubbish. They're fast, I think, though. Like, they're supposedly the fastest weapon or something in the game. But I don't really care, because they're kind of rubbish. Oh wait, no, there's like guns. There's some really fast guns, like minigun or something. It's like a mini, what was it? Some mini marine dolphin animal. Mini dolphin? No. Something like that. I can't remember it exactly. But it's pretty epic, but it also costs massive amounts of money. So yeah, there is actually money in this. I've currently got a silver coin, 81 copper. In order to get a guy that gets you money, like who you can sell your useless stuff to, you have to first off have 50 silver, which is kind of hard because, you know, how can you get... Oh, I just made another workbench. Derp, derp, derp. Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of hard making money without having a guy to sell stuff to, but they make it work because you can get a surprisingly amount of money quite quickly and easily in this game. And the merchant, once you get the merchant, it becomes a lot easier because you have all sorts of stuff you'll find on the ground. But until then, you can just get from fighting regular enemies. They're these rare ones, these rare slimes. They deal hardly any damage, but have got quite a lot of health behind them. Pinkies. So yeah, they're awkward to kill because they're small, but they're no real harm to you. So you just kill one of them and then you pretty much instantly get 1 gold coin. There's more than just the merchant as well. There's a dryad, which you get after having killed a boss. Like, yes. So another reason why this is more combat based is they're bosses, which are pretty damn epic. We'll try and fight a boss as soon as possible. There's a floating eyeball, a giant worm, some massive king slime or something, I believe. I haven't seen the king slime thing, but they sound pretty awesome. Yeah, I need lighting, and lighting needs wood. But fortunately, unlike Minecraft, you don't need coal or anything you find underground for it. Instead, you just need gel, which you get from these things. Yeah, you can get copper from every enemy in the game. I'm not sure how on earth these slimes come across copper. It killed the bunny. It shall die. But yeah, there's also a number of random occurrences in addition to boss fights. Stuff that isn't really boss battles, but it's still pretty epic in its own right. There's these things, blood moons, where I think everything spawns twice as much. Zombies can knock down your door and get into your house. And, yeah, everything just goes really epic. Also, every bunny and goldfish and stuff like that becomes corrupted and attacks, and they hit like tanks. It's just massive the damage they deal. So we're getting some lighting in here. We've got some small houses. And it's getting dark, which sounds like the perfect time to go on a reckless adventure escapade. And look, fortunately we spawned near a small, incredibly small cave, which is pointless venturing into because we've already ventured into it. Now, the thing with caves in Terraria is that they are a lot easier to... It's a lot easier to find whole caves. Look, we've got bunnies and guide moving into our house. Now, I'm not so ecstatic about the guide, but hey, bunnies. Yes, I quite like how they added the bunnies in. I'm not quite sure what they actually do, but you know, it's just good to see that they've got some things in the game that don't want to attack you, that are neutral, sorta. I guess slimes do kill them. What the heck was that just faded away over there? No, you will not kill my bunny. Ah yes, criticals. I love criticals. They've I don't think they used to have criticals, but now they do. So basically, I'm not sure if there's anything in particular you do that triggers a critical, but when you do get a critical, it knocks back the enemy a lot, and as the name suggests, you deal a lot more damage. Now this here is an interesting looking cave. So here we go into the unknown. Spooky.